In spite of the fact that there are well over 1 billion active Facebook accounts, it seems like tons of people are asking whether or not they should give up Facebook in light of user fatigue, data privacy scandals, and just generally getting tired of your friends seeming far happier than you. But do you really have a good reason to delete your account? While we here at TechWiki don't think there's a definitive yes or no answer to that question, here are 5 reasons that you might want to at least think about whether to stay on the platform. Number 1, the information glut on Facebook's servers. Now, obviously, Facebook is far from the only social media service out there, but unlike a good number of the others, Facebook is trying to be a do-it-all service to a large extent. You might have a Twitter account to spit out a few quick thoughts, Snapchat to message your friends, and Google Assistant to look up reviews of local businesses. But Facebook tries to integrate all that functionality onto one platform, which means they're collecting tons of data about you. If you're a frequent Facebook user, they may have even more info on you than anyone, except for perhaps Google. And even with that, Facebook's social aspects means that it might be easier to accidentally expose something that you don't want to. Number 2, Facebook just keeps on expanding. Although it was originally a much simpler site designed for college students to display basic information about themselves, it's turned into not just a very versatile platform, but a company that keeps buying smaller social media firms. Instagram and WhatsApp are 2 major services that are now under the Facebook umbrella and have been for some time. And when you consider that Instagram by itself has become the app for photo sharing, it's understandable to feel like you need to use at least one of Facebook's services, considering how many people are on them. So if you're concerned about limiting how much reach they have, finding another service to use might be a good idea, assuming that service stays independent. 3, of course, Facebook couldn't acquire the other companies if they didn't make truckloads of money in the first place. And the primary way that they've done this is via advertising, but not in the conventional way. Like Google, Facebook increases their ad success and therefore the rates they can charge by making sure that they're serving their users relevant ads, kind of like how you see commercials targeted at old folks during daytime TV. To do this, they track your behavior not just on Facebook itself, but also on other sites that use Facebook's API and social plugins. You know, like sites that allow you to like and comment with Facebook. Furthermore, whenever you're logged into the service, Facebook is tracking where you're going online. It's basically like someone from the local grocery store following you around your home and watching what kind of meals you prepare so they can offer you relevant coupons next time you walk through the door. And it understandably makes a lot of people really uncomfortable. Number 4. So far, we've been mostly talking about how much data Facebook collects, but the bigger issue, perhaps, is how carefully they safeguard that data once they have it. Facebook has had plenty of high-profile privacy mishaps over the years, with the largest one being the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where the data of 87 million users was shared without consent for political purposes. Another huge breach occurred just last year, where 30 million accounts were compromised. And it's also been revealed that Facebook has been a contributor to the US government's domestic surveillance program, if you care about such things. Also, in a truly classic facepalm moment, several years ago it was discovered that Facebook kept a large number of user passwords in a plain text document. Now, this list was only intended for internal use by engineers, but it was still a massive security risk that never should have happened. And while Facebook has publicly doubled down on commitment to user privacy in light of recent mishaps, there's been enough of said mishaps over the years to raise more than a few eyebrows. And finally, number 5, getting away from privacy and user security, there's of course the social aspect of social media, a much more tangible problem for many users. While this is more or less true for social media in general, Facebook has become a platform for people to showcase their lives, and many of them simply put forward the best versions of themselves all the time, where their lives seem exciting, fulfilling, and well-adjusted. Even though this often isn't the whole story of what's going on with a person, it is what many of us are constantly exposed to, which has led to issues with envy and poor self-esteem. And then, of course, there's the fatigue that comes with the other half of your friends list, who all seem to be determined to put forward the worst versions of themselves. What with the endless sniping back and forth about everything from politics to sports to tech brand loyalties. It's exhausting. So, none of this means that Facebook is just some kind of evil force and everyone should just get off of it right away. Maybe instead you just don't post anything that you care about keeping private. Maybe you only feel genuinely happy for your friends' successes, and maybe getting targeted ads for adult diapers doesn't bother you at all. But if these things do concern you, then maybe it's worth it for you to take pause and determine if you really need Facebook in your life. Besides, you can always just take a break and see how that goes and then come back to it later if you find out that getting new likes is the dopamine high that you just can't replace. And speaking of things I can't replace, my Mass Drop Object 2 headphone amplifier, also known as the O2 amp. This amp was designed and created with the feedback from over 500 Drop members on what they wanted to see in an amp. It serves as the ideal baseline reference amplifier for powering everything from in-ear monitors to HD 800s. The O2 is able to adjust the input, output, and power arrangements in 2 different grains, medium and standard. It delivers big, clear, and accurate sound, so check it out at the link below and join the drop today. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and be sure to hit us up in the comments section with your suggestions for videos that we should make in the future.